In this video, we're talking about working with the DNA Ancestor. And by the end of the video, you will know what is the DNA Ancestor, how do we work with it, the power of the DNA Ancestor, and how to connect with the DNA Ancestor and working with the energy of the DNA Ancestor. And please like and subscribe before we get into the content. And also, if you're serious about working with the DNA Ancestor and so many other things, connecting to your spiritual guidance, your spirit team, and also if you're in the midst of a spiritual awakening or you're coming out the other end or at the start, we welcome you into the Spiritual Awakening Academy, where you will learn how to connect with your spirit guides, your ancestors, your angels, your shamanic guides, and learn so many different ancient practices and wisdom and healing and energy and manifestation practices. Just click the link that you see above or the link that's below. So without further ado, let's go. So when we work with our DNA ancestors, we open the door to our fullest potential. We really do. Our ancestors are part of us that holds all of our genetic codings, and by working with the aspect of ourselves, we can access the wisdom and power held within. And by aligning with our DNA ancestors, we create a powerful connection to the deepest selves and can begin really to manifest our greatest desires. Through this process, we can come into greater alignment with who we are meant to be. And science really is constantly evolving and making new discoveries. And one topic that's recently been gaining a lot of attention is DNA testing and gyneology. And this is because scientists have been able to unlock secrets of our DNA and trace our ancestry back through centuries. As spiritual people, we may be interested in learning more about our spiritual heritage, because our DNA can really tell us a lot about who we are and where we come from. And by working with our DNA ancestors, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe. And DNA ancestry testing is becoming just more and more popular. You know, you see all these places working because people are curious about their genealogy and want to know where they come from. But what happens when you learn something about your ancestors that you don't want to know? What if your DNA ancestor was a murderer or a thief, or, you know, how do you handle that information? So I'll discuss how to work with the DNA ancestor and who and what they are, you know. Excuse me, I have a cold. So the DNA is the master ancestor for all living organisms. It really is. Karmic dictates of our ancestral pattern to some extent, yet as you evolve in your consciousness and expand that light of awareness, you can make choices that shift and modify this ancestral design. So ask yourself these questions. Has your family gone through some trials and tribulations, generation after generation? Do you feel fated to continue that trend? You know, is it possible you've inherited the karma of your family members? The good news is that you can break the cycle. You know, you can heal these hereditary traits and characteristics, that really have compromised your physical, emotional, and mental health. And how can you incorporate your ancestors' wisdom into your spiritual path? Or can you clear karmic baggage so your descendants inherit only positive karma? And you'll also see not only how your ancestors help you, but how you can in turn help them in an ancestor's transition into world of spirit. You know, you can heal those emotional and mental, physical wounds born in the lifetime. And we can heal echoes of the wounds of your ancestors' souls so they continue their evolution into the afterlife without any burdens, you know. So you'll discover that ancestral karma is not something that's permanently ingrained with conscious effort. It can be modified and healed. Only requires you to be proactive and intentional in your efforts to heal. And as you'll see, when you heal yourself, when you heal yourself through the methods described, this healing goes forward to your descendants and backward to your ancestors. So they say that it goes 7 generations forward, and it can go even further generations back that you're healing. So ancient and contemporary shamanic and indigenous cultures, again, never say that word, as well as many other modern cultures, naturally incorporate their ancestors in their spiritual practice and beliefs. And it really does enrich your life and how you benefit from your ancestors' guidance also. So, how do you work with that DNA ancestor? Now, I actually did I've got another program, Spiritual Abundance Creator. You get it over on my website, varney.com, where we really worked with the DNA ancestor, the 12 strands of the DNA light bodies. And we actually brought the light bodies, there's a process we work with other dimensional beings. And there's a process that we work with that we bring those, we connect to the other dimensional beings, the Galactic Council. We connect with that council to ask how we can bring those light bodies and clear the light bodies of our DNA, and how we can connect to those DNA ancestral light bodies. And everybody's unique, everybody's different, they have a different way of doing it. Was what I got. Not one way suits all. So this is why you have to go to the Galactic Council. And I actually have a video about the Galactic Council. Look it up. And that gives you more information about this and connecting, and also the DNA ancestor light bodies. The 12 strands. There's also videos about that also as well, if you want to learn more about that too. So, but not in this video. So really, connecting to your DNA ancestor is really connecting to the minute cellular part of your cell. You're going right back to the core of your ancestral line. And that's what you're doing. You're setting the intention. You're going all the way back to the strands of the DNA ancestor of that root cell that really has the imprints, the cores, everything, your behaviors, your limitations, your negative cycles, your dis-eases, everything. It has all this imprinted in it. And this is how you connect. You go right back, set the intention, go right back along the timeline to where your ancestral timeline started, and then you work with that energy that's within that core. And I always, when I do that, because it's such a minute, I get them to 100 times it. So we magnify what is going on there, and then we change. We bring in the light bodies to bring in to the DNA light bodies, the 12 strands, and we change them. We really change them. The first time I did this, it's not for everybody to do. First time I did this, when we brought the light bodies back, my computer screen, it was amazing. I don't have a screensaver or anything on my computer. I don't have anything set up. I've got my computer, had my computer for over 5 years now, maybe more than that. And I went, and after we finished that, there's this beautiful big white angel feather sitting at my door waiting on me as I went out. And then I came back, I went down to get a cup out, and I was in awe of the feelings that came into my body when we changed this light body, these DNA ancestral light bodies. And when I came back upstairs, maybe 30 minutes later, the colors, and also what was shown to me of the infinity cycle of putting it, bringing it back into the DNA, was actually over my screen. It was the most amazing energy that was emitting from my screen when we did this, and I just sat there in awe. And I actually, if you have a lot of toxins within your body, I was given clear, precise information to clean my diet up, which I didn't. And what actually happened, because I didn't do this, I became ill. Man flu, healing crisis, whatever you want to call it. So it doesn't matter where you are on your journey, if you're not listening to the guided information that's coming through, the guidance that's coming through, there is consequences. There is consequences, especially when you're working at that kind of level. Yeah. And it was only for a few days, it was only for a few days, but boy, did it hit me, because I'm very rarely am I unwell. But I listened, it really made me listen. So yes, the energy of the DNA ancestors is powerful. It is very, very powerful. And when you're working with the DNA, it's working with everything that is the emotional field, the physical, the spiritual, everything that we are, even the soul family, the ancestral, all the way down, when we're working those kind of ancestral DNA patterns. And if this is something that you really would like to know more about, come over to the Spiritual Awakening Academy, where you can really learn how to connect to this at a powerful level, and also your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your spirit team, your spirit council, your shamanic guides, your power guides, all those kind of things. And we really do learn practice. We don't just learn it, we practice it too, those ancient wisdom and healings in our energy and manifestations. And links above or click below. I'm Varney, spiritual teacher, author, podcaster. See you later. Bye-bye.